right, President Obama, you know what I've noticed when I do your program? I go over, and the audience, they love President Obama, your audience, the guys who sit in the little bleachers.
That's right.
For them, it's like going to Lord's to go to your show because they know they're going to get...
Many have been healed.
Right.
Yes,
they know they're going to get Obama, and it's going to be... So it's perceived that you are a big fan of the president. Has that changed at all?
The perception from the people at Lord's?
No. Let me rephrase the question.
All right.
How's President Obama doing so far?
Wow, that's a very broad question. I think in some areas he seems to be doing very well, but I think it depends on how you're looking at it.
But how do you look at it? John Stewart.
How do I look at how he's doing?
Yeah.
You know, I'm torn. For me, I feel like I can't tell if he's a Jedi master playing chess on a 3-level board way ahead of us, or if this is kicking his ass. So
you really don't know?
Oh, I think it's very difficult to say. For one thing, those types of broad analysis, you know, how's he doing? It doesn't lend itself to a very easy answer. I think there are certain areas that he seems to have made progress or stabilized certain areas. I'm appreciative of the fact that he has tried to re-engage the regulatory mechanism of the government.
Wow, the regulatory
mechanism.
That's way over my head.
The mechanism.
What is that?
And you're 6'5".
Yeah, and I have no idea what you just
that's
said.
like I was throwing to Marcus Colston. I mean, that was like jumping out there.
So what is
the idea that we would have people there checking if there was lead in our toys?
Okay,
so
protecting the folks using the federal government's power. He's made strides in doing that. You know, that's a pretty smart analysis. You know, a lot of people don't think you're smart.
Thank you very much. Wow.
Did your writers come up with that, or did you?
No, they're in my pocket.
Right.
I always bring a few of them with me.
You know, some of those guys have that little thing.
Yeah, no, I got the IFB.
Regulatory.
Here's what I don't understand. You're the top-rated show
by far
on the top-rated network. And
by
look, I like Staples as much as the next guy, but can a brother get a soft chair?
No.
Or
we
like
want
a table
people,
that's not plexiglass?
You're lucky you're not hanging from your thumbs.
All right.
We want people uncomfortable out here, okay?
Right. I'm very uncomfortable.
All right, so you think that he's doing okay in some areas.
Certain jobs.
And not okay in others. Give me a not okay.
I think his ability to articulate, I think he has decided that Congress is an equal branch of government. Huge mistake. So his inability...
Ignore Congress, in your opinion.
Absolutely ignore Congress. You got to go, look, Addington and the Bush administration established the unitary executive. They established the power of the executive.
Right.
You can't just walk in there as the next guy and say, let's go back to
power sharing.
3 equal branches.
No good.
No.
Right.
You got to go in there, my friends. You want to pass a law I don't like? Signing statement. Here's how we're going to do health care. Boom, boom, boom. You don't like it? You get in line.
So he's been too much of a team player. Now
he's not articulating clearly enough the direction he wants to move legislatively.
Okay.
It allows too much room for different narratives to take hold. For instance, a narrative that might emanate from, you know,
the no spin zone, from here,
from a news organization.
You know, that's actually another astute point, and you've shocked me twice now with the regulatory thing.
Did you notice I used the word ilk?
I did, but I ignored it.
All right.
But anyway, so you say that President Obama, instead of driving home a few pieces of legislation so that everybody can understand what he's doing,
that's right. Using the bully pulpit
gathers too many people under the tent, and there's too much discussion, thereby leading to too much sniping, and you don't get anything done.
Not even so much sniping as much as once you allow in a vacuum of power, what will assume power in Washington are special interests and lobbyists. So if you allow too much nitpicking on the edges of legislation, it will be necessarily turned into a type of lobbyist gruel.
Lobbyist gruel?
Lobbyist gruel. Right. That's the porridge that the lobbyists would eat.
Excellent. Okay.
They'll come in there and they'll say, oh, yeah, you want to negotiate better prices on pharmaceuticals? Yeah, see, here's the thing. We can't have that, so you got to pull that down there. Without making a strong case to the public, you have no leverage because the real power takes place.
Let me distill this so either I can understand it.
Can we get the table? Can we get the table, what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing here?
Yeah, I see it.
That's what's going on here.
Okay. It's very impressive. Let me just distill it so even I can understand it.
Now I'm a spider.
Wait,
hold on.
Okay, very good. You want some crayons? We can do that.
Good. It's like being at the ground round.
He's got to talk to the folks and stop with the pinheads in Washington and stop. Okay, now, what about these evil Republicans blocking everything he does? They don't, those Republicans, they don't want anything.
Right.
They want nothing. They stand for nothing.
Well,
how do we put up with them? Why do we put up with these people?
Well, I would think you put up with them because this allows you to consolidate your power.
My power, personally, you mean?
And the Fox organization, which is...
You think it's just Republicans?
Yeah, no, the shadow government. You know how all this works, right?
No, I really don't. But
let me get a chalkboard.
Don't get into Fox
News. Can I get a chalkboard?
Yeah, don't get into Fox News yet. We're going to have plenty on that. Okay,
we'll do that later.
But do you believe that the Republicans are blocking this just because they want to embarrass Obama and get him out of there? They block everything.
I don't know if it's purely because they would like to embarrass Obama.
Right.
I don't know what their motivation is, but it seems pretty clear that they would prefer not to do anything unless it's the thing they would like to do.
Well, that's
but now that they have
parties, though?
Now that they have the supermajority of 41 in the Senate, I think they should be able to put through whatever they want to put.
But I told President Obama gently that if he gives the Republicans something like tort reform, okay, that he says, look, we'll include in the health care bill. I think that's
absolutely. But again, that goes back to not articulating clearly enough what your tent posts are for the legislation.
But the president won't give the GOP anything. He's nothing in there.
I disagree with that.
What did they get? What did the president give him?
Well, when he had, I don't know if you saw, there was a press conference that he did with the Republicans.
Yes, I saw it.
And he was talking about tax credits, which was
for small business,
right? Which was a Republican idea, and he pointed to the guy who did it, and then he was
talking
about.
But that'll get through. Tax credits for business.
Then he was talking about tort reform, and he said, "Look, I would like to put tort reform on the table, but even the CBO says it's only about $5 billion a year, maybe not 2 percentage points off of what medical costs are. But I'm happy to talk about it."
Why? So, just put it in. Just as you said, he's talking about it too much. Just put it in.
He hasn't put anything in.
That's why the Republicans don't like it. They say, give us something.
That's not why the Republicans don't like it. He has given them many different angles. For instance, even in the stimulus plan, a full third of that was tax cuts, which you would think, it was like at the State of the Union when he said, and we cut taxes for 95% of middle-class Americans. And everybody clapped, and the Republicans just sat there like this. Tax cuts, that sounds vaguely familiar. Something out of, if that was Reagan who said that, I'd be up on my feet.
As well as I do, everybody's going to pay more next year with this unbelievable budget. Now, I have to quote, Howard Kurtz from the Washington Post. Am I supposed to
just let that go, or is that all right?
Washington Post, Howard Kurtz, you know, like that?
No. The budget thing.
Yeah, well, we're going to switch topics now because you're confusing me. Washington Post, Howard Kurtz says that you're now being too tough on Barack Obama, and the audience may turn on you, and during one of the telecasts may, as in the movie Frankenstein, get torches and pitchforks and come at you in a...
We have a tremendous security team. I actually do my show with a moat around the desk, so
because you are turning on the president.
I don't have any problem. Am I turning on? Well,
that's what Howard Kurtz thinks. Yeah, he thinks you're turning on.
Yeah. Well, they say...
Is that the kind of guy you are?
As Howard Kurtz goes, so goes Frumpkin.
Would you turn on your guy? Is that the kind of guy you are?
Well, there's so much to unpack in your statement there. Would I turn on my guy?
Yeah.
Is that the kind of guy I am?
Because your audience, as I said, that we opened up with Lords, I mean, they don't want you to mock them.
How do you know so much about my audience?
Because I've been on 4 times.
Have you been
I've been on your show
outside?
4 times.
But you are a very, I don't know if you realize this, provocative figure, or at least you used to be. You used to be a very provocative figure.
What happened to
Remember 5 years ago? You stayed the same, and the rest of the organization metastasized around you. Now you're like
I'm the voice of reason. Right?
You're like the Mr. Miyagi of Fox. You're just sitting alone in your garden doing a bonsai tree while the young Jedis run and play.
Yeah, but somehow it works. You know, Stewart. You know what I'm talking about. All right, now look in this article by Howard Kurtz. This is the quote: Stewart has clearly become an important cultural arbiter. All right, he's pulled off the trick of being taken seriously when he wants to be and taken frivolously when he wants to be. Now, the statement that you have become an important cultural arbiter.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in that one as well.
That is frightening, though. Do you understand the implications of you being important in any context?
Well, I think my family loves me. I mean, if that's what you're suggesting. I'm
just stunned that this has found its way into print.
Listen, Mr. Rowe, I'm just happy to be in the major leagues here. Thanks for calling me up to the show. Listen, I don't take any of that stuff seriously.
When you deliver your stuff, are you cognizant of the fact that your audience are primarily stone slackers who love Obama? And when you criticize Obama, all right, you may be turning on them. Does that enter into your mind?
Here's what I do with the show. We don't think about who is receiving it. We think about how it feels to us.
All right. So
we
if
have
it's
an
funny
internal
to you,
barometer.
you're going to do it.
That's right.
Okay.
Or if it feels like a valid piece of absurdity to put out there, we vet things internally. I can't. Whatever you say, someone's not going to like.
Okay.